everyone. My name is Adolphus. I'm a 300 level medical student from the University of Europe, and you're welcome to Med Talk. This is where we get to interact with professionals of the medical profession, and we get to hear their views about what the whole medical school is about, and to see their views about how medical students thrive and how they're thriving right now, and general trends and global practices. And to deal with us, we'll be having a very um, strong personality. We're talking of a teacher, a lecturer, and also a medical doctor by profession. No other person than our very own Dr. Christie Akwaowo. Good evening. Good to you.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be on the program.
Thank you very much. We're so happy to have you on today.
Thank you.
Okay, so for starters, I want to introduce your name and perhaps the fact that you're a doctor and you are a teacher. So, but perhaps all you have to say about yourself. Let us know more about you.
Okay, I guess nobody else can say much about me
Much appreciated.
as much as I can say about myself. So I am Dr. Christie Akwaowo. I am a medical doctor by profession. I trained and completed my schooling as a medical doctor over 20 years ago in the University of Calabar. And I have also undergone graduate training in community health or public health. And so today I'm a community medical physician and I teach, all right, in the university system, but by virtue of the fact that I am also a community medicine specialist or a public health specialist, I hold other roles in the hospital. I'm currently the director of the Institute of Health Research and Development of the University of Teaching Hospital, and I am also a global public health leader. I'm a fellow of the Kofi Annan fellowship program. Um, I am a wife, I am a mother,
Mhm.
and I don't know what else you want to know.
So that is a lot already for our viewers to take in one time. And our first question here is: it's a widely thought idea that medical students have poor social skills, and most people believe this, and a lot of people actually go with this thought. First question will be: what's your take on this, and what role does these social relationships have to play in the medical training, the medical students?
Okay, I don't think that medical students have poor social skills because coming into medical school with as individuals, you come in with your different, you bring in your different personality. I think it is important for people to be themselves. That said, I think maybe why you would come up with the idea that medical students have poor social skills is the fact that when you come into school, there's a whole lot to be done,
Yeah.
and so people stop maybe interacting much with other people. But yes, it is important for you to focus on your studies so that you can actually succeed. But you must learn to keep maintaining your communication with the rest of the world. Yes. So I don't personally believe that medical students have poor social skills because, for example, look at what you're doing now. You people are doing what's your passion, all right? And the mere fact that you're able to repeatedly pick me out and let's have this, let's get this done, and that you're actually following through, So I think that people, when you come into medical school, don't allow what would be termed paradigms that may not actually be true to shape you, you know. Let us, I think medical students should actually come in and, be themselves. While being focused on your studies, you should find a way to, allow yourself to interact with the rest of the world.
So, what role does this play, especially in the medical training, this social relationships? How important is it for the medical students in training?
Well, you need there are many soft skills that you should develop. Growing up, or passing through school, university. Don't forget, first and foremost, you're a human being.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need to be able to communicate with others. Okay, you need to be able to have a good interpersonal relationship with other people. You should be able to network. So you don't want to be just making friends with only medical students. How about the people that you see in your hostel, in other places? As you move along on the road, don't you see people? How about your even the cleaners that are working with you? Because sometimes the people that help you most are even the people that you don't think are highly placed. So everybody really is important and has a role to play. And one thing we need to know is that some of the skills, soft skills, would include like teamwork. All right. So you must learn how to be a member of a team. You contribute to the success of that team. You need to also be able to maybe apart from being a team member and follower, you should also learn how to lead a team. And all these things cannot be done just by being focused, by being just in your books and academic things. It is very important to volunteer. Volunteering is one thing that would expose you to developing a lot of the social skills you're talking about.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. Okay. Thank you very much for that. That's a big one. And we'll go straight up to the very next question. Like we already know, you told us your office and you're really specialized in community health. Personally, I don't find community health very interesting. And to be very frank, I think I speak for most
You're
medical
telling
students.
me I'm a community medicine.
No, I'm actually taking the picture of most medical students back there. I do interact with us, and then if you ask them where do you want to specialize, they'll tell you several other areas. I've not met with two persons that says community health. Okay, so that is one. That's why I made that assumption. So, but because of that, you're a specialist in the field, no doubt. But I think there's something interesting that you've actually that moved you into the field first and foremost, and that has also kept you in the field. So perhaps to make it open for our viewers out there to see that okay, there's something about community, or despite the fact that they want to do several other things. Why
Okay,
community?
I think I will just share my own experience. I didn't even think I would do community medicine. Maybe it was also as modeled in my head as it is in your head right now, you know. However, community medicine, okay, there are actually technical details. Community medicine, public health, community health. But we're essentially speaking to the same thing, being preventive and social medicine, and and the different subspecialties in this field. Now, it is these different subspecialties that make community medicine or public health very interesting, because the different specialties in public health, ranging from epidemiology and biostatistics to your health management to international health, or what we now call global health, to your maternal and child health and all those things. They make for there's a whole lot of things to be explored. And the beauty of community medicine, for me as a community medicine physician, is that I can actually interface clinical work, all right, with the preventive and social aspects of medicine. I think it's a very exciting field to be in. It may not be very clear to you as you are right now, but when you think of the prospects, especially, you will see that there is a lot to be done. I mean, we don't want everybody to come to be a community medicine physician,
Okay.
but I keep saying that public health is for everybody. Public health is for everybody because whatever you are, you may be a clinician, a surgeon, an internist, but you can practice public health. How? What you do teaching patients, teaching your community members on prevention, okay, and then working with other people in public health, that speaks to public health. But community medicine in practice for us as specialists, okay, is that you need to know your core competencies of statistics, biostatistics, epidemiology, okay, and then you could now, use the other specialties. And if it interests you, it speaks to what you really want to do. Okay, so I would say don't feel discouraged if you think you can't see it clearly. Sometimes you may not see the entire road, but you need to learn to trust the process as you go along. So my advice would be, if it's not very clear, don't worry too much. When you get to the bridge, you will cross.
Perfect. Thank you very much, man. That's a strong one there. I mean, I'm getting to know that obviously it's not just one thing in public health. There are several other
There are
specialties,
several
and
specials.
you have the ability, the opportunity actually to relate with the person you're actually dealing with, and other ways to actually help this person. This is a huge one. Thank you very much, Mark.
Okay.
And the next question we'll be asking is, what are the new inventions in the medical profession that you would advise for medical students in training? I mean, I think every day we get updates, maybe a former model that was being used is being upgraded to another one. Maybe the pattern of treating certain ailments sometimes in future could change. And so, as time goes on, the profession is actually evolving. So, how
Okay.
do you get that to the current ones right now? How do we relate with these ones?
Okay. We are living in the digital era. You generation, your generation Z actually.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And everything is digital. I hope you know that the lecture notes, the things you have, a lot of things are online.
Yes.
So I would encourage all medical students to embrace digital technology. There's so much. There's YouTube,
Yes, very much.
there are many lectures, short courses
Yeah.
online, okay? And there's even a group for medical students. I shared that link some time ago for medical students internationally. Yes, and it was actually set up during the COVID pandemic, last year,
Yeah.
so that medical students could continue learning, you know. So you don't want to limit yourself. You want to make sure you move. Okay. So technology is very important. I don't think that anybody in the next 20 years is going to be able to be, come out as a medical doctor without taking full advantage of the current opportunities online. And because there's so much happening, it is important that you actually prioritize, you know. So while being focused on your courses, your curriculum, because there's a whole lot that you need to know as a medical student, but it is important that you be able to sieve out the things that are contributory to your achieving the goal, because you need to set your goals and achieve them. It is very important you have to start from there. Without goals, you won't know where you're going. So if you don't set goals and make up your mind that you're going to achieve them, it's going to be almost impossible. And it is important. I know that right now there's a lot of apathy. The apathy comes from the fact that everywhere looks so, I mean, the country is not in its best state. Um, it looks as if all the teachers and people are leaving and all that. And so I know that that has an effect on the students. But you must remember that it starts in your mind. So if you keep a positive mindset and know that I came in here to medical school, there is something I came to achieve, and then you're focused on that. And then you try to prioritize because the internet, we are living in an age of what we call infodemic. There's so much information on the internet. So it is important for us to learn to prioritize based on our goals, what is going to help us achieve our set objectives, and then we ensure that we are using the technology because you can't run away. The developed countries they are moving on. They are not even waiting for us anyway. So we had better just keep moving. Yes, yes, and be very optimistic. No matter how it looks, right? Like the psalmist says, although 10,000 may fall by my side, yes, but you should have that positive focus, trusting God that one day it's gonna be okay.
Thank you very much. And that was very personal and very specific. And I think I would, based on your recent replies, I think I should bring this question in. Currently, I do have some friends also in medical school, and some of us have skill sets. Some of us have entrepreneurial skills. I have a classmate who's even a photographer. I know some that are into business. They buy stuff, they sell. Sometimes they even sell to us in the class and all of that too. Some of them have. One is even a graphics designer, like very makes beautiful graphics and all of that, web designs and all of that. Okay, so and honestly, the challenges of the medical school are really heavy. And I was one. He said he couldn't do a certain job because he had an exam and then he couldn't meet up certain of the job. He lost some money and all of that stuff. So how do we blend this together? There's this extra passion. There's medicine. The passion for medicine is very strong. That's our primary cause to facing. But we also do have some of us have other skills that we want to try out. And how do we make all of this work? Because the time is still going to be 24 hours for every one of us. There's no extra addition. I say it's really, really heavy sometimes. Sometimes we want to give up on it.
Set your priorities. That is key. It is important to set priorities. And for now, medical school is one place that makes you have what we describe as a triangular life, where you do school, hostel, and class. Sorry, school, hostel, and probably
And
church.
church. Yeah.
Yes. So that may just be it. However, over the years, I've come to find out that it is important that we don't just mm, ignore what we feel passionate about. And from my own experience, I think we naturally gravitate towards that our passion eventually.
Yes.
So, whatever skills that we feel we have, photography, designing, graphic design, whatever. For now, it is key that you get your certificate as a doctor. Get your license to practice as a doctor. When you're done, you will find ways to apply that your passion to whatever you're doing. You may be wondering, somebody that's doing graphic designing, what's he going to do with medicine? How did he land in medicine? If it's too bad and you just feel you can't, then maybe you should actually leave and not do medicine. But if you're in medicine and your mind is on medicine, really, so get the certificate. And once you get the certificate, you will start thinking. And I tell you with time, you'll be able to apply. So I know that there's a saying that the jobs of the future have not even been designed yet.
Yeah.
You'll be amazed to know that somebody who has studied medicine and becomes a medical doctor can actually apply graphics to that. What happens when we are doing surgeries with laser technology? Who's going to design that? Who is going to help us when we need to do medical imaging? You know, so these are all the things that will eventually you will come to the point where you see that your passion can be blended with, so those skills or the passion, the skills you have, or your, what do you call them, some people will say their talent, cannot be fully, you can't just explain it away or think you suppress it forever. Somehow it will come to pass, it will come to, you have to find a way to blend it with what you're doing.
Okay. It's a very personal one again. Thank you very much, ma'am. And then the last question here, okay, not really the last, but one of the main questions here is how are you able to cope? Like I already introduced you, introduced yourself, you're a doctor, you're a family figure, you're a wife and a mother, and then you're also a lecturer, specifically in fact, you're also being my teacher. So I could actually add that alongside. So how are you able to put all of this into perspective? Because the young medical student coming up says, oh, how do I get to all of this stuff? How do I, when I get to that stage, how do I join my medical practice with family? And perhaps some even have passion in lecturing and go into that field too, and be able to have some sort of balance. Like with most of us who actually know you personally have actually seen you demonstrate that high degree of balance. And it's really amazing, obviously.
Okay, so I will just go back again to the start. Priorities and mindset and goal setting. Priorities, mindset, goal setting. So um, I would I would say really don't worry too much about how you're gonna do when you get there. When you get there, the knowledge and the ability to do what you have to do will actually be given to you. So how am I able to balance this? Uh, so should I say a step at a time?
Okay.
And also, I mean, that's it. You try to do things as they come to your table. Okay, yeah, and then there's also a saying that how do you eat an elephant? You eat an elephant not by swallowing it whole, but taking a bite at a time. So a bite at a time, a chunk at a time. Focus on what you're doing at a time. So yes, I'm a mother. Yes, I have family responsibilities. I'm a daughter. I have to take care of my father. I have siblings. I have, all those things that belong to the church, community, and all that. But it's important to prioritize. So coming to my career, okay, I have um, administrative duties, I have teaching duties, I have research duties. Okay, I'm not saying it's easy, but it takes, you know, prioritizing things, and then I think that some things do give way for others per time, per time. But at the end, the question is, can you achieve it all? Yes, it's possible. Yes.
Thank you very, very much, ma'am. So to end this off, I'll just ask for one more statement from you for our viewers out there that I think right now, in fact, some are preparing for exams, some have exams in a week, some in a month, some in 6 months. Some are looking at how many years remaining for them in med school, and like you said, one day at a time. But right now, they have some things going through their mind, and to get that clear mind been really difficult for some of them. So what do you see to our viewers out there at this maybe at any critical point of their lives right now in the
Yeah.
medical school?
Yeah. So a step at a time.
Mm-hmm. I
A
take
step
that
at
very
a time.
seriously. Yeah.
Okay. So I would just tell people to, you know, the most important task now for you as a medical student is succeeding in school. So whatever goals we are setting, okay, whatever objectives, whatever things you're doing, you should be asking yourself, is this going to help me to graduate on time with good grades? All right.
Mm-hmm.
If that thing is not going to contribute, please just leave it for now and be focused on getting this done and out of the way. Once this is done and out of the way, you will, you can actually do other things. And it is important for you to read a lot. Read outside your, what is, how would I put it, presented to you in class. Just, read according to your syllabus, but it is good for you to also be very conversant with what is happening, especially in other places. And it's important that for us in public health, there's a lot of information coming in. Okay, so you try to keep abreast with trending topics. Okay, and I have said earlier, volunteer, volunteer for bodies that come up, volunteer for, if the college is holding any academic activity, the faculties, you're invited at that level, the university, you should go because there's a lot to learn. Volunteer to work. And then volunteer to work with affiliate organizations, Single Women, NMA, whatever, organization is, need your services because when you volunteer, you acquire skills that you would never acquire anywhere else. And learn to allow yourself to think out of the box. You can question things a lot, all right? And question. And then, ask yourself if this is done this way, can't we do it differently? Yeah? Okay? So when you allow yourself to have that mindset of being, open minded, think outside the box, I think it will go a long way to, helping you as a medical student in your career.
Thank you so much, Matt. And I believe with that we've come to end of every question I wanted to ask. We've exhausted it so well, and once again, thank you so much for your time and words of experience you shared with us. I believe whoever is going to have to listen at this interview today, tomorrow, 10 years from today, we still always find something to hold on to as far as the medical profession and medical training is concerned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on the program.
Thank you so much. Bye.